Welcome back to Cosmetics Anonymous. I am your favorite new Mama Bougie Vintage, and today's video is Botox. Hey Bo, I've been watching you for 4 years and I love you and your channel, so I have an issue and I don't know what to do about it. Trigger warning. Long story short, when I was a child, my brother molested me for years. I blocked it out and completely forgot about it until I was 15. I am almost 23 now. He has 6 years on me. I told my mother about it years ago and she did nothing. She didn't tell my dad because 1, we already knew he wouldn't believe me, history of him not believing me, and 2, she feels the situation will mess up her marriage and it would just ruin a lot of things. This will tear my family apart. So still to this day, she acts like I never told her and is super close with her son, my brother. She didn't kick him out, nothing. I'm forced to keep it a secret. I have to pretend that it didn't happen. There's more to this, but I want to keep it short. So last month, my brother had a baby girl. I'm so terrified that he will do the same thing to her. In my mother's head, she feels it was so long ago, so she pretends it won't happen and that it won't happen to her grandchild. That type of sickness doesn't go away, and she knows this, as her brother, my uncle, did the same thing to her growing up. So why, you know what? I don't know what to do. I still live at home in the process of moving out, but I need at least a year to save. And if this information comes out, it will ruin and change the dynamic of my household. I want to tell my brother's baby mom, they are not together, they co-parent, about this because I'm sure as a mommy she would want to know about this. Plus my brother has a new girlfriend for the last year. Yes, messy, I know. And she has a 5-year-old daughter. Oh, goodness gracious. Mercy me. If something happens to my beautiful niece, I'll feel responsible. I'm stuck. Any advice is great. Girl, you have to tell his baby moms. First of all, your mom, I'm not even going to get into that shit because I want to drag her, and it's too early in the Botox for me to be dragging somebody's mother. But fuck your marriage, first of all, bitch. And secondly, why do little girls, why do our feelings... And why does our pain always get swept under the rug? Like, it's not fair and it's not right and it's fucking annoying. If this were me in the situation, first of all, I would have addressed my brother. Secondly, I would tell whoever he's with, and I would tell his baby mother as well, because at the end of the day, for all you know, he's only with his baby mother because he has access to the little girl. And that's the part that's scary. You cannot hold something like that in, because at the end of the day, you are going to feel responsible even though it's not your fault. He's a sick fuck. I personally feel like you should tell not only his baby mother but also his girlfriend, because we have to protect little girls at all costs. Like, there's no way around this. If he is that sick to do it to his own sister, who knows what he would do to somebody else's child? Who knows what he would do to his own child? So it's really important that you speak up, and if you do speak up and nobody wants to take action about it, then that's completely on them. You did your part and you're not to blame. If you tell his baby mother and she doesn't want to believe it, or she feels like he won't do it to their child, then that's her business. But at the end of the day, you did your part and you tried to protect your niece any way you could. It doesn't matter if it tears your family apart. Look who's broken right now. You're the one that has to live with this and deal with this. Your mother has not dealt with it properly. And as a parent, if my kid ever came to me and told me this, I'm handling it right a fucking way. Like, there's no holding back. There's no, my marriage is gonna fall apart. Like, bitch, no. That's the last thing on my mind if my daughter were to come and tell me something like this, especially because I've been through it. And because your mom has been through it, that's what's fucking mind-boggling to me. It's obviously a sickness and is running deep in the family, and if the cycle is not broken, it is only going to continue. It needs to end. And the little girl is so freaking precious. She sent a picture of the baby. Oh my gosh. No, we have to protect her. Hey Bo, so my boyfriend and I are in a long distance relationship. Everything's been going good so far, but he just started a new job a few weeks ago. He let me know there were some females at his job that had been asking about him and if he had a girlfriend. One of them even went so far as to try and add him on Facebook, but apparently he let it be known that he's in a relationship. This just sounds like, okay, the last one about work stories. He's always been open and honest about everything with me, which I'm grateful for, to keep our relationship as healthy as possible, especially being long distance. Anyway, recently he's been having some car trouble, so he's been taking the bus to and from work, which he says is a hassle since he has to get up extra early and it takes a while for him to get to work. One of his coworkers saw him getting off the bus and offered to give him rides to and from work since it's on his way. He asked me if it was okay first, and I made sure to ask if it was a female coworker. And of course it is. He tried to reassure me that it's not one of the girls at his job that likes him and that she's just a work friend. I said I don't know her and I don't know her intentions. For all I know, the raggedy bitch could like you and be plotting to make you hers. I was irritated as hell, and he says he understands where I'm coming from, but this is what's convenient for him right now. We got into a little argument about it, and I'm currently not talking to him. Do you think I'm right in being pissed off about the situation? I trust him, but I don't know her, so I'm not cool with them riding together on top of already spending the day together at work. Here's the thing. You could be so secure in your relationship that you would say, I don't care. I know my man. I know that he would never ever let anything happen, but it's so true. If you don't know somebody else's intentions, it's hard to call or it's hard to decide whether or not this situation is acceptable for you. I don't know that I would be comfortable with a female picking my man up every day and bringing him to and from work. And you're right, they are spending a lot of time together because she's picking him up, she's dropping him off, and she also is spending the day with him at work. You're very right. It's a lot of time to spend with somebody. But I feel like if you don't have trust in your relationship, you don't have a relationship. So one part of me wants to be like, you know, if you trust him, then let him get to work the easiest way. But if your real concern is with the female, then maybe you need to meet her. And that might be extra to a lot of people, might be doing too much. But at the end of the day, if you're picking my man up every day, I want to know who the fuck you are. I want to know what you look like. I want to know everything fucking about you. And then we can move on from there, you know. I'm not going to have some random picking up my boyfriend, my husband, whoever it is, every day. And I don't know who the fuck they are, and I don't have a relationship with them, and I don't know what their intentions are. So if it's really an issue, I would say maybe you two should meet, have coffee, get acquainted, and feel her vibe, you know? And you also get to see what she looks like. So I would say to do that before saying absolutely not, she can't drive you to work, because his options are limited. I mean, it's either the bus or it's Uber, and obviously Uber might be more expensive than the bus, but sometimes it's not, and or Lyft, whatever. And if you don't want to do either of those things, then I guess you better pay to get his car fixed, because you can't really dictate how he gets to and from work, because you're not his wife, you're just his girlfriend, and you know, he's gonna do what's convenient for him at the end of the day. So I don't think it should be an argument where you guys are not speaking. I think there's, you know, two sides to this, and I think it can be handled differently. So if you are really pressed about it, then meet the girl. Unless you can find a better solution for him, unless there's a male employee that you rather him ride with that can pick him up and stuff, well, sometimes you gotta watch these bitches, because some of them are just too damn nice. You know, she could be plotting, okay? You gotta be skeptical around these hoes. You just really never know. So I say you get a feel and you know, meet her if you need to. But you can't be, this is not a dictatorship, and you can't really tell your man, no, she can't pick you up. Hi Mo, I love your channel so much. Very entertaining when I'm stressed out. I'm a 21-year-old. I live in Toronto and I go to university for nursing. I live with my parents and little sister. I cannot remember the days where my parents never argued, ever. They argue over the smallest things, and a lot stems from when I was younger and not living with my mom. Many of their arguments cause them to get in each other's faces, and they lead to being physical. Both my parents are Jamaican, and I am just tired of it and everything. I tried to talk to them about divorce, but their excuse is they do not want to leave for the sake of my younger sister and I. If your own daughter is coming to you and saying, please divorce, because I can't take the stress, you need to get a fucking divorce. What do you mean you're staying together for us? We don't care. Like, Parents need to fucking get that. I want to move out either by the end of next year or once I finish nursing school in 2021. I do not know how to go about that conversation with my parents. I do not know whether it is possible to just take my sister with me because I do not want to leave her and move out. I do have a part-time job and I'm trying to save, but Toronto is too damn expensive for my ass, especially renting for an apartment. I know it is. That's why I took my ass up and left. Any advice would be great from you and the subs. Love you lots. I don't think you can take your sister with you unless your parents allow you to, but what your parents need to understand is that them staying together for the sake of you guys isn't helping anybody, but it's hindering, because all you guys are doing is seeing a toxic environment. And you are older, so you are not as impressionable as your little sister. Their arguments or whatever's going on in their marriage isn't going to affect you the same way it's going to affect the little one. And that is kind of where our focus has to be, because you already know it's toxic. You already know you want them to divorce. And you know that they shouldn't be together, because if they're not going to go to counseling to fix the problems in their marriage, they can't just keep dealing with it at home and arguing every 5 minutes about trivial bullshit and then not trivial bullshit. If you try to talk to them about divorce and they're telling you no, talk to them about counseling and try to be open with them and telling them how you feel about them being together and staying together for the sake of you guys. Saying we don't really need you guys to be together anymore because it's doing more harm than good. As far as taking your sister with you, it's a lot of responsibility to take care of a child, and you're a really good big sister to be trying to take on that role at your young age, and you're not even through school yet. You have to understand that it's not your battle to fight, in a sense, and it's not gonna be, you know, easy peasy 1 2 3. You're gonna start to feel a lot of stress if you take your sister with you when you move out. And of course you don't want to leave your sister in that situation, but at the same time it's not your responsibility to do that. I feel like it's better if you move out and get your career situated and then take your sister when the time is right, especially if your parents are gonna keep dragging this relationship out for God knows what reason. After you leave, I feel like you should really situate yourself, get your savings account popping, and then bring your sister in to live with you if that's really what you want to do. But don't do it in the beginning stages, because that's when it's going to be the hardest, and that's when you're going to not be able to save, because you're not only taking care of yourself, but you're taking care of her. I think I would personally try to get all my ducks in a row before I brought somebody else into the equation, even though it's going to hurt to leave her there with your parents knowing how toxic they are. I think that if they're not going to try to fix their marriage the right way and they're refusing to get divorced, you don't really have a choice but to fix your own situation, and then you can grab your sister. Hey Bo, I was currently watching one of your Botox and I decided to send you an email. I need some advice. So growing up, my dad was always abusive. He would hit us with cords and things. But when I was 15, my stepmom started hanging out with my best friend's sister-in-law, and they both began to make up lies saying they had videos of me and my best friend smoking weed and things like that. One day I came home from school and my stepmom found out a guy friend brought me home, and she then called my dad and told him all these lies about me smoking and having sex with this guy. My dad then asked to put me on the phone, and he said that I better be out of his house by the time he gets home or he'll beat me so bad I'll either be dead or in the hospital. My uncle then came as fast as he could and took me to live with my mom. Fast forward, I am now living with my grandma, and I see my dad almost every day now. Deep in my heart, I want to forgive him because it hurts me not to have my dad, but he will not for anything speak to me when he's around, and I don't know what I can do to be able to restart a relationship with him. What the fuck kind of dad? It hurts to walk past him like complete strangers. I'm sorry if this doesn't make much sense, but it's hard for me to speak on this. Much love, Bo. You really helped me. To me, it's mind-boggling that your father would just ignore you. Like, for me, I do the ignoring. I'm the one that ignores my dad. Like, if I see my father in a public setting, like my grandmother's funeral, for instance, I was trying to avoid him and I was doing the ignoring, and it was like cat and mouse, and he was trying to chase me around because he knew I didn't want to speak to him. When it comes to anybody that you love ignoring you, it's going to hurt. If Shooter decided that he didn't want to talk to me, I would be very upset, because you're not going to fucking do that. You're not going to ignore me, because I will punch you in your fucking face. Like, you're just not going to do it. And so I can understand why you would be so hurt that your father is not speaking to you, especially because he's been fed lies. But I think what would hurt me the most in your situation is the fact that you know the truth and he won't even listen to it because he's putting somebody else's word basically above yours. I don't know why your stepmother would ever even do that. These stepmoms are wicked bitches, okay? They is straight evil. They all need to just poof and vanish into thin air, and we never hear from them ever again. Because who the fuck do they think they are, lying on little innocent girls? Like, why? Because you wanted the daddy all to yourself? You're a weirdo. Because you have to see him every day and it hurts you every day and you really want a relationship with your dad. There's two ways that I want to approach this. One is you can't force anybody, even if it's your own father, to want a relationship with you. And as sad as that is, it's facts, it's the truth, it's life. If you really want to work on this relationship with him, I mean, if he truly loves you, then it should be hurting him too. And
you didn't warn me.
I'm coming down.
You didn't warn me.
What do you mean?
Salem in the mall. She wants to be everybody's friend. The mall's packed.
I told you she's friendly.
The mall's packed and she wants to be everybody's friend.
Who's she going up to?
Everybody. She doesn't want to be in my arms at all. I'm holding her up.
I told you. I don't put. I put her in my shoulder. Stroller. I don't play that shit.
I just hold her like this and walk through the mall. Around her with my arm.
And then you just let her run free?
I got to the bay, went to the furniture section, sat down on the couch and said, go. Go.
I'm coming down.
You give me all of them?
Probably not. Shooter interrupted me. I had no idea what I was talking about. It should be hurting your father just as much. And I don't know if you have to send a text. I don't know if you have to write him a damn letter. And I don't know if you tell your grandma how you're feeling and let her relay it to him. I'm surprised she hasn't interjected already. Unless she has and you just didn't tell me. But somebody gotta tell him how you're feeling. And the best person to do that is you. So maybe you should, you know, try to talk to him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him that the things that his wife told him were fake and lies, and you would put that on everything. Like, you know, let him know how serious you are about wanting a relationship with him, and let him know that you forgive him for treating you the way he has been treating you, despite the fact that he's treating you this way based on a bag of lies. And there's nothing you want more than your relationship with your dad. People don't understand how important it is to have their dads in their life. Like, or men don't understand how important it is to be in their daughters' lives. Some men, not all men. But it's really freaking important. And that's why I appreciate the relationship that Shooter and Salem are building. Because I didn't get that. And it's something I so want for all of my kids to have a relationship with their dad. Because I legit do not have a relationship with my father. So for my kids to be able to have that, that's me breaking the cycle. And that's hard to talk about. So I don't blame you for trying to keep this as short as possible. One thing I will touch on is that you said that he's always been abusive. And to me, this is just another form of abuse that he's kind of putting you through. It's an emotional abuse. And I think you should try to find out why he's like this, if that's something you want to know. When people treat you like this, especially if it's your own father, that stems from somewhere. It's like he was abused and he's just continuing the abuse onto his own children. And it's sad and it sucks, but a lot of the times that's reality. You have to kind of find out what's wrong with him internally, why he would ever treat you the way he's been treating you for, you know, your whole life. If you're unable to get to the bottom of that, I feel like there's still going to be a strain on your relationship. And more recently in BOETALKS, I keep suggesting family counseling and couples therapy and all kinds of things like that, because it's gotten to the point where people are so quick to just brush all of their issues under a rug and let it sit there, and then the rug starts to pile up, and instead of being flat, it starts to go like this because there's so much shit piled under it. And so I think it's really important to deal with your issues, whether it's, you know, having a real conversation and breaking a barrier, or if it's having a third person there to mediate this conversation so you can actually get somewhere. Me personally, if somebody was abusive towards me, I could probably forgive them for the abuse, but I don't think I would want a relationship with the abuser. I understand it's your father, but I just want to look at this from both angles, because yes, you need that person in your life, but at the same time, can you forgive and move on without a relationship? That's also an avenue to explore. And sometimes we have to look at situations and appreciate them for what they are. Maybe your father not speaking to you as much as it hurts you, maybe that's for the best, because you don't know if he's outgrown that stage in his life where he was angry and abusive towards you. To me, he hasn't, because he ignores you. Who blatantly ignores their own child? Like, that's your seed, you know? That's crazy to me. Sometimes it's for the best to move on and move forward without these people, but you're your own person, you're your own woman, and you're gonna make the decision based on how you feel inside. I don't know, because I'm on the outside looking in. I only know what you've told me. If you feel this is something you both can grow from, then, you know, deal with it how you feel fit. But if not, if you really look at the situation and your gut tells you, you know, he may start abusing you again, then I think you should just let it be what it is. My sushi just arrived. So I'm gonna go eat these California rolls, and I will be back for part 2. I love you all so much, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.